Good morning, EagleNick audits. I am EagleNick, and I'd just like to say good morning to everyone and hope you have a beautiful day. Now, we have a 30% chance of scattered thunderstorms in Dalton, Georgia today. I was wanting to try to go do a little fishing, but the forecast sort of scared me off. I didn't want to go and get caught out in the thunderstorms. Good morning. How are you doing? EagleNick here. And we are live at the Eagle's Nest. Good morning. How are you doing, Melissa? Melissa Hughes, it's great to see you this morning. Good morning there, T. How you doing, brother? Or sister, if I might say. Good morning, Miss Amy Loy. So great to see you this morning. Now, EagleNick audits. It's running a little late this morning. I don't want to be on a set schedule. You never know when I'm going to be alive, sir. Well, I'm always alive, I hope, but you never know when I'll be doing my next live stream. So I hope everyone has that notification bell tapped. You never know when EagleNick is going to be slapping out the next one. Good morning, Nathan Peacock. Glad to see you. And a very good morning to you too, Miss Brooke. So glad to see you this morning. This morning, EagleNick is here for we the people to see how everyone is doing. Good morning, but why? But why not? You know what I mean, Vern. So happy to see everyone coming in this morning. I pray that you all have a blessed day. Now, I have been having trouble with controlling my mouth and saying stuff while I am doing live streams that causes YouTube to want to restrict my videos, live streams, sometimes to 18 plus, and yet at other times wants to say ad suitability, stating that not all of their advertisers are suited for EagleNick audits. Now, EagleNick sure would like to know which advertisers is not suitable for EagleNick and we the people and the United States Constitution, because they love to take our money, yet they say they try to control what their advertisers is associated with. Now, that is a form of censorship to say that certain advertisers, good morning, Alan Davis, Ricardo. So glad to see y'all in here this morning. I was talking about how YouTube has got to where if I say certain things, they restrict my live streams, after they are uploaded to video format, they want to restrict them to 18 plus, or they want to say ad suitability, like their advertisers are not suitable for my YouTube channel or my YouTube content. When all EagleNick audits does is speaks the truth, stands up for the United States Constitution, stands up for the red, white, and blue, and stands up for me and for you. Good morning, Peter. Waving a hand from Texas. So glad to see you. Good morning, Chef Robert. Now, I had my friend Chef Ben with me when I did my live stream yesterday up at the Hag Mill Lake Reservoir, and I thought he had got lost on the trail, but he had just decided that he was going to turn back around and go over to his friend Billy's house and sit around all day watching Bonanza. Chef Ben got tired of watching all them police harassing and trying to intimidate EagleNick. I hope everyone likes gumbo. I really never got into Cajun food. EagleNick Audits is more of a bacon double cheeseburger, plain sort of fella. I like just meat, cheese, bread, and bacon, and a hefty portion of salt. I am a saltaholic. Now, it is real hard for me to see all of the chat because they make the letters so small. You know, since it is a screen the way it is, they should put the letters in red. I don't know if I could do that myself. Good morning, Saudi Arabia, or evening, whichever the case may be. As you can see, it is morning time in Dalton, Georgia, USA. I do believe that it is close to 10 a.m. here. I've not really kept up with the time. Listen. Now, there was one cicada hollering. I believe a bird's after it. I'm running a little late this morning on my live stream. I usually do it between 7 and 8 o'clock. But EagleNick Audits does not conform to the norm. I try not to have a set schedule to when I will actually be here or there or anywhere, because I don't want to let them know exactly where I'll be so they can try to run me up a daggum tree. Because EagleNick might climb a tree, but then I gotta fly away. Dr. Pepper, 100%. Coca-Cola is okay if it is ice cold, and I drink it just as quick as I can. But a Dr. Pepper now, I take my time with it. Coca-Cola just loses its taste to me if it gets a little bit warm. But as long as it is ice cold, hey, I'm good to go. I try to usually, even if it's a 20-ounce bottle, A Coca-Cola, I try to drink it in just as quick as I can. Now, it wasn't like that when Coca-Cola was made with cane sugar. Good morning, Nicholas. Nicholas Barron, glad to see you. LG23, so glad to see you too. Well, thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate you. Sometimes I wear my heart on my sleeve, but EagleNick audits most of the time ain't got on no sleeves. I have to just wear it on my shoulder. EagleNick audits. Good morning to you all. I love you, one and all. And I hope I didn't blind nobody this morning. I'm very sorry. I am not responsible for eye burn if you took a too hard of a look at me. Hey, EagleNick likes to party all the time. I'm a country boy. We party in the country. Look, I have my disco ball hanging in the tree. Look, beware of the dog, and all I've got's cats. Look, my little rubber duck up there fell over. I had it setting up better, and I got it where I can hit the brake lights on them disgruntled public employees. And I've got my solar light sitting here charging up that I keep on the side of the house. Here's my cat Sheba walking around. Now, this is Chef Ben's bicycle that I thought was right behind me up there at the Hag Mill Reservoir, but he hauled booty. And these are cans I've been picking up. You'll see there's Dr. Pepper, Diet Mountain Dew, Pepsi. That, I forget what it's called. It's bubbly or some crap like that. Yeah, bubbly, B-U-B-L-Y. Dr. Pepper, and I like it when I find these type cans. These type of cans weighs I think a 1 ounce and a quarter. So it only takes about 12 of them to make a pound. But I don't drink them. I just pick them up. And one of my buddies give me a bunch of weed eater line. I don't know why he was going to throw it away. He said, you can have it if you want it. But I said, well, I'll take it. I'll give it to my little brother because he does a lot of weed eating. That is one of them cat towers I found. But it sat out here and got wet. The cats wouldn't never play with it, and it kept getting wet, and it finally just broke. Just remember, it's not how big the dog is in the fight. It's how big the fight is in the dog. You know what I mean. Now, EagleNick would like to tell everybody to remind you all again that EagleNick says that it is okay. Yes, sir, Mike, that is true. Coca-Cola still has bottling plants in Mexico where they still use cane sugar, and it actually still has that original taste. Now, I have seen them before in certain Hispanic little grocery stores around Dalton, but most of them will say hecho in Mexico, made in Mexico, yet they still use the high fructose corn syrup instead of cane sugar. The ones that still actually use the cane sugar, the bottling plant in Mexico, they actually put those Coca-Colas and Dr. Peppers and other drinks in the original returnable bottles that we once had in the United States. But I was going to say that EagleNick Audits invites you all to make your own or have made for you your very own EagleNick Audits t-shirt. Feel free to do so. If you can do it yourself, you may. If not, you can go to a local t-shirt place that makes shirts. And I say that it is okay for you to make you a EagleNick Audits t-shirts. And for any of your relatives or friends or family that would like to wear an EagleNick Audits t-shirt, it would do my heart good to know that people wants to wear a EagleNick t-shirt, because I stand up for the red, white, and blue. I stand up for me and you. Now, like I said, I could already. Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing? My day is going great so far. How about you? I was just letting everyone know again that EagleNick says that it is okay if anyone would like to make their own EagleNick Audits t-shirt or have one professionally made, to have a few made for their friends or family. Now, I'm not saying to make them up in bulk and try to get rich off of the EagleNick Audits name. I'm only saying that you can make them, because EagleNick could have did that himself. I have the store option to where I could have them made and I could sell them through one of them online retailers, but EagleNick does not do that. Good morning, Penguin Clips. How are you doing this morning? Yes, sir, Greg Davis. Free EagleNick. Feel free to make you a t-shirt. But EagleNick says that I'm for we the people, and we the people is one for all and all for one. Check out my wind chimes. They are eagles. Now, I've had these wind chimes for about 12 years now. I found them in the garbage where somebody threw them away. Now, here it is 12 years later, and I've got corrupt police officers with the Dalton Police Department and the even more corrupt United States Postmaster in downtown Dalton, Georgia, Miss Constance Long, who wants to violate EagleNick Audits rights, who had me arrested by illegally obtaining my name to get a so-called warrant that EagleNick Audits was never shown nor ever served at any time. Now, you will see little TC, the tuxedo cat, I call him. He's laying here, he or she, I don't really know which it is, but that little baby's just laying here sleeping. Don't have a care in the world. Just chilling out. So what's up with y'all? Well, first, I did a not guilty plea, and that's all there was to it. Now, the maximum penalty for criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, is 12 months and or, this is Gray Baby coming up there, 12 months and or $1,000 fine. Yeah, the day before I went to my arraignment, which was scheduled for July the 9th, on July the 8th, I received a call from the public rear ender. Now, some people call them the public defender, but I call them the public rear ender because they seem to only want to do more harm than they do good. If you are forced to be stuck with a public rear ender, public defender, they seem more to want to make sure you get locked up and get the maximum amount of a penalty allowed by law instead of trying to do their job to the best of their ability to study the law, to know exactly what the law is in your case. Now, the public defender told me that they was offering me 12 months, 10 days to serve with the rest suspended, $1,000 fine, 150 hours of community service, probation, and banishment from the post office in downtown Dalton, Georgia. Now, that is going way above and beyond the maximum penalty allowed by law. Yeah, EagleNick Audits was trying to receive special treatment. They wanted EagleNick Audits to have his cake and eat it too, if you know what I mean. I never asked you to buy a shirt from me, John Brixton, whatever your name is. I said feel free to make your own shirt. Get the peanut butter out of your ears, sir. EagleNick said that you can make your own EagleNick Audits t-shirt because I have the store option to where I could make or have made EagleNick Audits merchandise, t-shirts, hats, can koozies, caps, bumper stickers, but EagleNick is not doing that because EagleNick Audits is for we the people, for all people, not just the people of the United States. EagleNick loves everyone regardless of the color of their skin or the financial situation they happen to be in. You know what I mean, Vern? Don't go looking in the mirror and seeing your reflection and try to cast that reflection off on me. Well, that is fine, sir. You may call me Forrest Gump, because Mama always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get until you open the box. I like a little mustard on my biscuit. Whatever you say, John Britain, don't start spamming it over and over, or EagleNick Audits will show you the door and send you on a permanent vacation, just like Aerosmith sang about. Like I said, it's free speech. You go ahead. Yes, sir, that is absolutely right. The trolls come out in force when EagleNick Audits is setting his course. But I'm gonna come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. I thought that they were angels, but to my surprise, they took me aboard their starship and headed for the skies. come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. You got it there, John Braxton. Your wish is my command. Everybody say goodbye to John. They asked for it and they got it. Toyota. You know what I mean. The EagleNick Audits is happy to oblige. I gave an ample warning. It was not disguised. I do not sugarcoat. I don't sit. I don't beg. I don't roll over. And I don't play dead. And I only did what EagleNick had read. It said, please ban me forever. So EagleNick did exactly what they said. I'm white and so is my hair, but guess what? At least it's there. You know what I mean, Vern? Look, and I'm not fat. Whoop, whoop. I might be ugly, but that's okay, because being ugly ain't a crime today. It might be tomorrow, we'll never know, so stick around. What does it matter if I'm black, white, green, or red? As long as I'm alive, then I ain't dead. That is exactly right, Alan Davis. Now, if y'all saw, they asked me to totally ban them, so I was only helping out. I was only doing what they requested. EagleNick Audits does take requests sometime. Thomas Williams, I sure do thank you, sir. I try not to be addictive, but I appreciate that thought because I'm all for the red, white, and blue. I'm doing it all for you, me, and you. Have a blessed day and don't work too hard because if you do, you're sure to get tired. You know what I mean, Vern? Why, thank you. Thank you very much. EagleNick just does not conform to the norm. And just so you know, it's not a recording. It's not AI generated. EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick. Because that's just how I am. Sometimes I'm slow and sometimes I'm quick. I cannot help it. I'm just EagleNick. You know, some people get sick and tired of hearing my voice. But you know what to do if you don't like to hear my voice. There's a mute button on every device. Mute me. Just looking at me might be nice. Well, looking at what I'm looking at, because most of the time I don't have it looking at me. My phone's already got one crack in the top right corner where I dropped it. If I had it looking on me too long, it might crack. I might go, mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on my wall, tell me who is the loneliest fool of all. Oh, wait a minute. I believe I see the answer staring back at me. Yeah, I like that Diamond Rio song there. Sorry, my voice cracked. I used to could sound not too bad, but I smoke too much now. I've been smoking them 24/7 red 100s for a little bit too long. But I like to used to sing this into my wife. Come on over here and lay by my side. I've got to be touching you. Let me rub your tired shoulders the way I used to do. Look into my eyes and give me that smile, the one that always turns me on. And let me take your hair down, 'cause we're staying up to greet the sun. And when your body's had enough of me and I'm laying flat out on the floor, when you think I've loved you all I can, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. Got to say a few things that have been on my mind, and you'll know where my mind has been. I guess I've learned my lesson, and now is the time to begin. So if you're feeling alright and you're ready for me, I know that I'm ready for you. We better get it on now, 'cause we got our whole lives to live through. And when your body's had enough of me and I'm laying flat out on the floor, when you think I've loved you all I can, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. Rest in peace, Rebecca. I miss you, girl. And that's about to make me cry thinking about it. She's going on 6 years she's been gone now. And I've not had a lady to sing that to, because EagleNick is married through and through. Thank you, Alan. Maybe you're tone deaf, because I know I am. But I about made myself cry thinking about my wife. You know, they say, oh, it'll get easier as time goes by. But it really don't. It don't get no easier. There's times when it's just even worse and even harder. You know, when my wife first passed away, thank you, Miss Jessica, I appreciate that. When my wife first passed away, thank you, I appreciate that. But like I said, when my wife first passed away, we eat at McDonald's a lot. We would get the McDoubles. I always get them plain, just meat, cheese, bread. And I would get one for get mine and hers, and plus our little dog Ginger. But when my wife passed away, February the 19th of 2019, it was over a year before I could go to McDonald's to buy a McDouble, because I felt guilty. It would make me feel guilty thinking about eating something that we always ate together. That is why for 2 or 3 years after she died, I never got a fishing license, because me and her had started fishing together after we got married. And the last time we had went fishing, we were tied up on the amount of fish we caught. And I always knew that I would feel bad, that I would feel guilty if I caught a single fish, because it would be I know it wouldn't, but in my mind it'd be like, hey, I'm better than you. I caught one more fish. And I just did not want to do nothing to tarnish the memory of my wife. I mean, my wife wasn't perfect. We wasn't living together when she passed away. She had decided to go her own way after 6 years. But we were still married, but she didn't live but right at 5.5 years after that, because I just could not handle the drug use anymore because I had seen too many times in my dreams the way she was going to die. The Lord showed me how she was going to die. He didn't show me all of it. He didn't show me that it was going to be the hospital, Hamilton Medical Center in Dalton, Georgia, who overdosed her on fentanyl. Just showed me that she was going to die. But my wife was mad at me, did not have me listed as an emergency contact, and the hospital, Dr. Duran was the doctor, gave her 200 micrograms of fentanyl in less than an hour. Now, she had been doing meth right before she went in for the procedure, so she wasn't high on it when she went in. But after they started the procedure, the meth kicked in and it made her blood pressure and her heart rate high. So they gave her the fentanyl to try to bring her blood pressure down, but it never did. It was 130 when they started, and it was 150 something when the procedure was over and she had left. It was an elective procedure, so they could not stop her from leaving. That was just how Becky was. She was hard-headed, as am I. Now, I'm a Taurus, but she was an Aries. But they killed her the way she liked to live. When she died, she had methamphetamines, marijuana, and benzos, which is Klonopin or Xanax, in her system. On top of that was the fentanyl, the opioid. Now, those four drugs combined creates a speedball. She loved to speedball. Now, EagleNick never liked to do anything like that because I'm too down to earth. I do not ever want to do anything that can kill not just my body, but my mind and my soul. But when she said that she was going to start just go out on her own, it was a big relief off my shoulders because I had seen her die so many times that it made me think that maybe it was because that we were together. I didn't know that it didn't matter if we were together or if she was out somewhere by herself. But her family, they did me dirty. When her cousin got me to ride out to Sean Chapman Funeral Home in Chatsworth, I was under the impression that I was just going out to sign the papers for them to be able to cremate her body, but I was under the impression that her body was still at Erlanger Medical Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, after I got back home, I had called that funeral home and asked it about the death certificate I had asked them to obtain for me to make sure nobody else could get it. And they said no, that only I could get it. So I asked them, I said, well, when are y'all going to go pick her body up? They said, oh, we done got her body. We picked her body up Friday. And this was a Saturday, so they had actually picked her body up the day before. So I asked the gentleman, which was one of the Chapmans, I think it might have been Sean Chapman himself who owns the funeral home. I said, sir, you were telling me that my wife's body was there when I was there filling out those papers? And he said, yes, sir. I said, so you mean I could have viewed her body if I would have wanted to? He said, yes, sir. He said, you still can. Now, I was going to go back out to do that, But I knew I did not want to see my wife laying there dead, that I would rather remember her alive, because that is one image that I would have never got out of my head. And you know, my head had already been through so much, and my heart even more, because I love my wife, and I would have laid down my life at any time for her. But it was not up to me. I could not stop her from doing what she wanted to do. That is because we all have free will. If you have loved ones that is on drugs, don't give up on them. You just make sure you stand by them and you pray for them. Because you might not know it, but you think it's bad while they're alive. You wait until they die and you'll never forget it. That's something that you'll live with for the rest of your life. You know, that's something that you can't never stop. Just because they die don't mean the dream stops. It's hard to dream anything good that ever happened. The only thing you can seem to dream is all the bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get so emotional and start crying, but it just kills me still thinking about it. Like I said, it's coming up on 6 years. But you think it's rough now. It was even rougher when she died, because she died, even though we was separated, she died 3 days after our 12-year anniversary. So that's why it gets so hard on me at times. That's why that I really didn't care if I got arrested, because I don't really have nothing to hold me back anymore. My wife is deceased. My mother is deceased. My father is deceased. And I only started exercising my rights. The first video I did was of a Dalton Police Department female officer violating a homeless girl's rights to the First Amendment, free speech, and her Fourth Amendment rights by making her tell her name and birthday when she was walking on the sidewalk, when Georgia does not have a stop and ID law for pedestrians. Unless you are committing a crime and are a pedestrian in the state of Georgia, you do not have to identify yourself. The Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment says you do not have to answer any questions. You do not have to say a word. She was 37 years old. When we got married, I was 39 and she was 25. So she was 37 and she was fixing to turn 38 and I was fixing to turn 42. Her birthday was April the 2nd and mine is April the 29th. That's what makes it so bad that I have to know that our anniversary is coming up, and then her birthday, and then mine. It just makes me feel guilty that I was that much older than her, and yet I outlived her. You know, she did not even live to be as old as her mother. Now, me and my wife was married in 2007. Her mother died in 1999, 20 years to the day that my father died, the exact same day. Now, me and her got married in 2007. That was her uncle that just rode by in that truck. Her Uncle Joe. Now, her father died May the 2nd of 2008. Then my mother passed away May the 2nd of 2021. So it has been a rough life for EagleNick. I do my very best to keep my sanity. I'm not saying that I'm completely sane, because I'm a long ways from it. But I guarantee you, I got more common sense than 99% of the trolls that gets on my YouTube channel. But I love you all, and I thank you all for every single day that the Lord allows me to live, to be able to do what I do, to be able to make shorts and videos and live streams for we the people, for the United States Constitution, for the United States of America, but most of all, for all of mankind, all of God's creation, because He created us all. He did not create one race of people, then the other people came up out of the ground or came up out of the water. When the Lord created us, they wasn't but one race. It wasn't called a race. They didn't come about different tongues and different skin colors until God scattered man over the face of the earth and gave them different tongues. All because man was trying to reach heaven when they built the Tower of Babel. I try to do that, Mike, but it is real hard. It's real hard. I do try to remember the good times, but that's what I'm saying. I can remember the good times, but I can't dream about them. All of my dreams always seems to be the bad times, and I don't go to sleep thinking about it to try to dream it. It's just my curse to bear. And it makes me feel guilty thinking that I might could have done something else. I did do everything that I could. I thought I did within my power. But like I said, I'm sitting in my yard, just looking across the road. That cane pole goes across my driveway. And I heard my crow up here somewhere. Now that was me. That wasn't my crow. I hope I didn't bust y'all's eardrums. I have a crow I call my eye in the sky that follows me around. There he is. You probably, look, see him? Can you see him flying around up there in the tree? I was hoping maybe y'all could see him. But he follows me around and he keeps an eye out for me. People think I'm crazy now, but I'm telling you, that crow lets me know when I need to know something. Okay, buddy, you ain't got to bark, son. That's my neighbor's dog over there barking. I might go up here and see if I can see him in the trees. No, look. I learned to talk to crows when I was a teenager. A lot of people would go hunting them using a crow call. I would go use my call and I'd get them to go away from them so they wouldn't get shot. It makes me mad when I see blue jays. Well, there he goes. Look, there's another one. It's actually got its mate up there. You see him? Did y'all see him fly off? They was up there in this big pine tree that overlooks my yard. They was watching down that way for me, but I guess they didn't want to be on camera. And I know people's going to say I'm crazy, but I guess I am. Anybody that hadn't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would. Even though I'm crazy, you never know how crazy I'm going to get. All I ask is everybody to please watch my videos and my shorts and let the ads play so that I can receive a few pennies every day from YouTube because of the ads. I have super thanks, super chats, and super stickers, but I do not ask people for money. Now, I have had people send $10 and $20, but I never asked it for it. It is called super thanks, but EagleNick audits thanks that y'all are super. Well, the problem with blue jays is blue jays will attack crows. If you've not ever seen it, I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube or Google, and you can find videos where blue jays are attacking a crow. They will follow them around, chasing them in the sky, trying to peck at them, bite them, trying to knock them out of the sky. I don't know why the crow wasn't bothering the blue jay, but the blue jay wants to bother the crow. David Preston asked, what's the problem with crows? David, that was my answer. That blue jays, what was the problem with blue jays, rather? Blue jays attack crows. They will torment them flying around. Usually there's 2 or 3 of them, and it's hard for the crows to get away from them. Now, the crow could, all it would have to do is just attack back, hit them with their beak real hard one time, each one, and they would not be chasing them. But the crows do not try to retaliate. It was Mr. David Preston who asked, what's the problem with blue jays? You must have just come in, Trent. Or Trent Balone, I think it says. I can't really read it. Yeah, there's more than just blue jays that attack crows. I don't know why. I guess they just like to attack them because they're bigger than they are. But they only attack them in the sky. They won't attack them on the ground or while they're sitting in a tree. They just like to torment them, I guess. But if everyone would, please, I would ask that everyone to please watch my shorts feeds, my videos, let the ads play so that I can make a few pennies every day from YouTube off those ads. I try to be more careful about what I say, because sometimes I'll say certain things and it causes YouTube to restrict my live stream when it's uploaded the video to 18 plus, or it'll say ad suitability. In other words, saying that not all advertisers are suitable for my content. Hello, Mexico. Glad to see you. EagleNick audits loves all people. I've even thought about running off to Mexico myself, but I know if I try to go to Mexico illegally, they'll lock me up and I'll never see the light of day. And because of all my trouble with the United States Post Office, I do not believe that it would be too easy for me to achieve a passport. We are looking at a big cane pole that goes across my driveway. We are looking at a plant across the road. But we are listening to EagleNick audits. I have been just running off at the mouth, thanking everybody for being who y'all are, for liking, sharing, and commenting on my videos and my shorts. If you will check out my YouTube channel, I'm sure you will not be disappointed, whether you love EagleNick or just the sound of my voice makes you sick. I have my arrest video where I was arrested for exercising my constitutional rights at the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton. I have videos with interactions with different Dalton Police Department officers where 90% of the time, well, I'd say more than that, 98% of the time, EagleNick audits does not lose his cool or his composure, but there is a few times to where they are totally disrespectful to me, so it all goes out the window. EagleNick audits gives the same respect that he is given. But when they cross that line, that's just how I'm living. I do not sugarcoat. I do not sit. I do not beg. I do not roll over. I do not play dead. I stand up for the Constitution. I stand up for the red, white, and blue. But most of all, I stand up for me and for you. Shits. Hey, brother or sister, I'm sure glad to see you there. I'm glad you're all right. Brother, I hope you actually got a court-appointed attorney and you did not get stuck with a public defender as EagleNick did. See, we used to have court-appointed lawyers until the state of Georgia switched over to the public defender's office, all because they would rather have two prosecuting attorneys in the courtroom instead of just the one, because I do not call a public defender a public defender. I call them a public rear ender, because in any dealings I have ever seen with the public defender's office, the person they were supposed to be defending seemed to get rear-ended. They only got more trouble than they would have been if they had represented themselves. They could have been dumber than that big old rock right there and did a better job than the public rear-ender did in their defense. Do you know what I mean? It is a shame when somebody that's poor cannot afford a lawyer and they get stuck with a public defender who don't want to defend you. All they want to do is rear-end you. Brother, these are not prison flops. Them are crocs. See that? Them are crocs. They don't have crocs in prison. I'm not in prison. I'm in my yard. I am in my yard. Look, prison has a big old fence with that razor wire around it. My yard has this. Look, you see that? You see how that goes up right here? You see that? Let me give you a little public service announcement. You see that door on the bottom of my house? Now they have the knock and talk rule. That means the police, law enforcement, can come up and knock on your door to talk to you even without a warrant. But by me blocking off my driveway and me having my signs posted right here, that does away with the knock and talk rule. They cannot step foot on my property beyond this point right here unless they have a warrant. Because if they do, they are in direct violation of my constitutional rights. Because the United States Supreme Court has ruled that in so doing exactly what you see here, that extends the curtilage of my front door to this point, thereby eliminating the knock and talk rule. They had to get me to come to this point to try to talk to me without a warrant. If you didn't know that, now you do. Brother, I don't got no toe jam. Look there. Do you see toe jam on my toes? Look, there ain't no toe jam on them toes. Look there. Them toes don't look bad. What you talking about? What you want to talk bad about my toes for? Bro ain't smoking meth. Bro was outside in his yard. I don't smoke meth. If you was around earlier, you would have heard me say that my wife passed away in 2019 because she did meth, and the Hamilton Medical Center overdosed her on fentanyl while she was high on meth. You know what I mean, Burnett? How would you pronounce that? Kayan? I'm having a great day, and I hope you are as well. Well, I don't drink lead paint. I'm sorry that you think I sound like I drink lead paint. I don't drink lead paint. I will show you what I drink just so we can clear that misconception up, okay? Just hold tight. I will show you. Here's my refrigerator. I got milk. I got Orangeette. I got Sam's Cola. I got root beer. Look back behind it. I got a bunch of bottles of water. I got water. I got grape jelly, mayonnaise, ketchup, honey buns, Little Debbie's. Looky here. Root beer. That's beer, but it's root beer. Corn dogs, cheese. Let's check out the freezer so you don't think I got no beer hid up here. Look. EagleNick audits. This is what I like. Now, these are all empty. This one still has some in it. I like hot chocolate and coffee mixed together. I make the hot chocolate, then I put the coffee in it. This is something I love right here. Peanut butter with an apple. Cut an apple up and yummy, yummy. You talking about good. But I'm glad I come inside because it's getting a little bit hot out there. So I'm going to come in here and go in here and get ready to end this live stream here before too long. I sure do appreciate everybody who has came in. Everybody who's commented, Even the people that all they do is say bad stuff about EagleNick. But EagleNick don't really mind. Look, here's my cola. This is Sam's cola. You see that? This is what I was drinking before I went outside. It's probably done got hot now because I've been doing this live stream for 1 hour and 5 minutes. And this is EagleNick's bed. And once again, I ain't made it up yet. This is my clean shirt. I ain't got it even unfolded. I took my shower this morning. You'll see I wrote on the back just to make sure them corrupt police officers don't forget who I am. It says EagleNick. But like I said earlier, feel free if you want to make your own EagleNick t-shirts or have one professionally made. I love you all. EagleNick audits. I audit everything. Look, y'all want to have a contest? Y'all want to guess how many Skittles is in this coffee jar? Look, this coffee jar is 12 ounces. And it is filled with Skittles all the way to right there. We could have a lotto where people guesses, and I would have to count them because I've not counted them. I don't know what anybody would win. No, sir, Stephen Rowe. I live in Dalton, Georgia. Dalton. Well, Trump's ear, I think your user, your YouTube handle is sort of offensive that you would choose a handle like that, because that actually is disrespectful and shows how you feel about Make America Great Again and Republicans. Now, EagleNick audits supports Donald John Trump, supports Make America Great Again, and supports the United States Constitution. Kayanne, I can count higher than you can. Well, everybody say goodbye to Trump's ear on here because they just said they wanted to be kicked to the curb. Goodbye, Trump's ear. You're not an ear anymore. I have plenty of videos on my YouTube channel, Nick Shelton. All you got to do is look and you will see. I've done many audits on the cops. I've did audits on Dalton police officers, Whitfield County Sheriff's Department, Whitfield County Courthouse, Dalton Police Service Center, the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton, the courthouse, the Whitfield County Courthouse, Dalton Utilities. Yep, Stephen Rowe, they said bye-bye. Hello, John. I'm doing great, but I'm not your granddaddy. I am a constitutionalist. I believe in the whole Constitution except for the 16th Amendment, which gives the Congress the right to create a federal income tax. I am all for the Second Amendment. And I'm all for the Fourth Amendment because that is one of the amendments they violated of mine. The right to be safe and secure in your person, property, papers, and effects. I also like the Fifth Amendment, which says that you had the right to not to say nothing. So how about you use it if you ain't got nothing good to say? But I also love the Ninth Amendment to the United States Constitution, which recognizes that we, the people of the United States of America, have even more rights than are written into the Constitution itself. I support the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. I also support the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. How do you like me now? Hey, I appreciate you, Nick. I guarantee you'll find some videos you like. Especially with Officer Buffoon, who I ran in for the first time on April the 5th, 13 days before I was arrested, after I had did my audit at the East Side Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, a little small branch post office. Now, I ran into Officer Buffoon, B-E-T-H-U-N-E. I call him Officer Buffoon. But I ran into him after I did my audit at the East Side Post Office. He came by me going to the post office and waved. Then he came back by going the way I was going and waved. Then he pulled over and waited on me to get where he was. And then when I looked back, he waved at me again. So I said, that's like an open door to me. So I parked my bike, went back and recorded him. And he chose to call me out by my name, violating my Fourth Amendment rights. You're talking about the Fourth Amendment, whoever that was. People says it's not a violation of your rights, but it does say the right to be safe in your person, property, papers, and effect. My person is my name. They illegally obtained my name to start calling me by name and to put on a supposed warrant that I never was served or shown. And when they did that, when I had not committed a crime, that is, no matter what anybody says, a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights, my First Amendment rights to freedom of the press, free speech, freedom of religion, freedom to redress my government with my grievances, and the freedom to assemble. It was also a violation of my 14th Amendment rights to equal protection, not equal harassment, not equal intimidation, not equal persecution, but equal protection under the United States Constitution. If you don't know what that is, I say you're to check it out. It's something you might need someday. It does not matter. It was an intimidation, a retaliatory tactic to try to make EagleNick audits mad. It does not matter what content it was. If I had committed a crime to where they legally knew my name, it would be okay. But when they illegally get your name and start calling you by name, that is called an illegal seizure. It ain't seizure of stuff, but it is an illegal seizure of your name, making me not feel safe in my person. You know, this is my person. Me, That is me. That's my person. I didn't feel safe when he started calling me by my name because I did not break any laws. It was all an intimidation tactic, a retaliatory tactic because of my live stream at the Dalton Police Service Center. Now, EagleNick Audits loves you all and hopes you all have a very blessed and safe day. Hello, Concita Hickey. I wish I hadn't seen that said something hickey because it made me wish my wife was still alive. I'd give her a hickey. But I love you all. I pray you all have a blessed day. Be sure, if you hadn't already subscribed, to please do so. Check out all my videos and my shorts and my past live streams. And when you do, I ask if you would please let the ads play so that EagleNick Audits can receive a few pennies every day from YouTube from those ads. I don't ask people for money. I have super thanks, super stickers, and super chats. All I ask is to let the ads play so that YouTube can pay me for those ads. I love you all and pray you stay safe. Look, this is one of my videos right here. That is a detective walking back over to the liquor store. There was 6 police cars. Now, YouTube, this is my channel I've got on TV, so don't start saying about copyright. I own this video. I am the one who recorded it. But that is a detective. They had a Hispanic man laying on his back in handcuffs and kept him in handcuffs for about over 10 minutes. And then they took him out of handcuffs and let him go. And the Hispanic gentleman made them all shake his hand before he would let them leave. But I love you all, and I'm sorry if you're just now getting here, but I'm just now fixing to end the live stream. I pray you all have a blessed, safe day. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Share every video, every short, and every past live stream. I would really and truly appreciate it. And when the ads come on, please let them play. And now, I'm afraid it is time for you to hear me say, EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick, and I'm out.